we're just talking away in the background, just enjoying life and talking about enjoying life with our kids and doing the stuff that we love to do. And then all of a sudden the clock strikes 7, and we're like, "Hey, man, we should turn the thing and go live and speak to our tribe." But man, you had a great week, right, with your son and talking marketing and all that stuff. You want to share?
Yeah, like my son's 33, and I realized that I hadn't spent a lot of time with him. I'll go have lunch and that. We'll just talk, talk, talk. First time I've spent a couple of days with him in a long time. And I realized talking to him that I'm talking to myself because for 32 years, all he's heard from me ever is marketing, 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 and this one, and this client, and that project. And then it's like I bounced stuff off of him, and he's like spot on with his answers. And it was just wonderful. I think I told you that I had gone down to see his show,
Mm-hmm.
and in between, he had two shows. I sat out in a park by the river, and I was going to read a new fiction book. I haven't read any fiction in a while. I just wanted my brain out of it. And like I said to you, in my messenger bag, I found this Marketing Love Story by Bernadette Jiwa. And it like all the books you have me read, Joey, it blew me away. And this
Yeah,
is just 2 pages, and this is what the whole book looks like. And those are my notes and my highlights. And,
yeah, I love to see
when you
that.
read the fact that it just happened, it just fell out of it's what I was supposed to read. And a lot of those things have been happening lately. So all good stuff, and just loving my year, my 12-week year, and just focusing. It's amazing. We talked about that on the show a few weeks back, the 12-week year. And I look at things and go, I could do that. And I'm like, no, you're not. You don't need to go on a networking event to do that until your product's done. Your
Yeah,
first year is finish the product, build it, then worry about Facebook and YouTube and all of
yeah.
that stuff. Because it goes back to when I built the software company. I realized that, and I heard your voice while I was doing some writing. It was like I built the first piece of software, and I needed to make some more money, so I built another piece of software, and then another one, and I built 6 of them instead of okay. What if I just focused on the one piece of software? And so, yeah, the focus on one thing, and I love that we get to get on here and talk about marketing and direct response marketing and mindset and systems and strategy and all that stuff we talk about. So
Yeah,
once again,
100%.
it's Tuesday night. I'm excited. Yeah, we got on here like 20 minutes early, and we're like, okay, everything's ready, good. And then it's like, oh, we better go live. So
Yeah,
I'm
we're
gonna.
all ready to go, but then like the clock strikes, and we're like, let's go live. So,
And
yeah,
again,
no,
anybody that's watching live, give us a hashtag live, hashtag replay if you're watching on the replay. Joey always posts the group, the Heart Centered Marketing Club. Come join us. Great group of supportive, loving, caring people who don't make stupid comments when you put a video up in a group and somebody makes a snarky, snide remark. And you tell the group owner who takes it down and apologizes, but it's like, it's probably not a happy person. I'm like, that's not what a group is and about. Our group, your group, the group is about heart-centered people who really support each other and on a mission and a journey to live
so
that
true.
dream life. Yesterday I took my son again. He needed me to drive him, and I took my laptop and my phone, and I normal business day, normal doing what I'm doing. So happy to be here as always. Take it away, Jr.
I'm going to. I don't know who this is, probably because I didn't put the invite the into the post, so I just did that. Whoever this is, we're going to be talking. Yeah, we haven't announced yet what we're going to be talking about because we're just doing this amazing intro. So, hello, Facebook user, hello live. I don't know who that is. Maybe
That's
that.
Rebecca. That's Rebecca Rolnick, and I
Oh,
apologize
Rebecca. Good to see you. Okay, cool.
if I
Thank you.
mispronounced your name.
Thank you for
Welcome,
being here.
Rebecca. Good to
You're going to
see
like what we're going
you.
to talk about today. Um,
What episode is this, Joey, by the way, for those
One,
keeping track?
172, if my math is right. And like I told you 20 minutes ago, my math wasn't so good today. I'm trying to be better at math, but my math threw me off today, and I had a low
No, you
cognitive
are
ADD
getting
day.
better at math. You're
I am
not
getting
trying,
better.
getting better at math.
I am getting better at it. Um, but today was a challenging one, and so it threw me off cognitively. That's a hard word to say, But I think I'm back. So
It threw you
if
off
you find me
cognitively.
mumbling all over the place, that's probably why. It's one of those ADD low cognitive days.
It threw you off cognitively because your cognition was not cognitively functioning.
Yeah.
Cognitive.
So
There you go. And
uh
Collie's here. Hello,
Collie's
Collie.
here.
Love
Hey Rebecca, I see you. And Collie's here. Yeah, so if you can give Ecamm permission to post your name, that would be amazing. We'd love to just give you props, see your face, and all that amazing stuff. Thank you for being here live today. This was sparked by a conversation. I've had a lot of conversations actually in Kajabi this week. Not that I don't have them every week, but this one was a really heavy week as well. Already, it's only Tuesday. I'm calling it like it's the end of the week. It's already Tuesday, and I've had like epic conversations, like just amazing conversations, and long ones, which is what I mean. And so this one was sparked by one of the conversations, and had to do. It went from one place to another. Like check my check my landing page, what's wrong with the email sequences and all this kind of stuff. And the person in the conversation suggested to read Great Leads, which is by Mark Masterson or whatever, Michael Masterson or something like that, which is one of the books. Have you read Great Leads?
I have not. I'm going to have to now.
Yeah, so Great Leads is a fantastic book. And then, so I mentioned that, it's a really great book. And you probably seen my lead copy decision tree that I have, which has the levels of awareness. And we've talked about levels of awareness before. That changed my life with you from Eugene Schwartz. So what I did is what I always do is I like to marry ideas and piece them together into frameworks or something
Really?
that's
You do
easy
that,
to
Joey?
figure out.
You do that? You take information, you marry it together, and you put it out there in the world? Huh. That's new to me.
Well, if it's new, well, now it's out there. Now you know the secret, right? What I
Now we
do.
know your secret. I told you one day I'm going to hire somebody to figure out how to plug into your brain and just suck it all out. I want
uh,
the chat Joey.
yeah,
Anyway, go
it's
on,
Great
Joey.
Leads by Michael Masterson. That's who it is. So it's a great, fantastic book. But I'm gonna share on my screen here. This is something I created. I kind of, like I said, married the two ideas, and there's a couple of things happening on this page, and we'll kind of walk through it and talk about this back and forth. But just to give you an overall view of what is going on here, the top level is the stages of awareness from Eugene Schwartz, and they're super important. So if you want to know how to market, we talk about this in Atlas all the time. Like the dream clients, where do they actually live? We can talk about all this stuff. And if you have questions, by the way, put them into the comments. We'd love to help you. But it's very important first of all, if you've never seen this, it's truly important. It'll be groundbreaking for you. If you have seen it, then I highly recommend you concentrate on the areas to know where your clients are, and then we're going to move it down into how do you actually speak to them. So the first level is the unaware market. It's on the left side, the unaware, and this is where obviously nobody knows anything about you, or they don't even know that they have a problem. And a lot of people, you'll notice, uh, will say, my customers, if they only knew this thing or what I do or my solution or something, that I would be able to change their life. And that's speaking to the unaware market, because the market doesn't even know you exist or that they even have a problem. The next phase up is the problem aware, which is where the market does understand that they have a problem, and they may or may not be looking for it. They may identify a problem and say, doesn't really matter. I can wait. And you have to know where they sit within the problem aware stages. And a lot of marketers start here. There's nothing wrong with that. But if you're speaking to a market that says, well, I've got a problem, I understand this, but I can really wait. I see a lot of marketing to this level trying to force them to make no, you need to fix this now area. Any thoughts on that one? First of all, Scott, I'll just stop there so you can interject. And while
Well,
you do that, I'm gonna try and do some magic here on the back end and put up our pictures here so people can see us.
that would be magical.
So
And
go ahead.
yeah, I think the problem aware stage is really important because, as you said, a lot of people are trying to force them and saying, look, you have a problem. I know you have a problem. Here's the solution. And you need to take that solution right now. And that's us. That violates pillar number 3 totally and completely. Respect their time when we try and tell them. And it goes to what we talked about. That's where you did the whole engagement trust piece. That's where engagement comes in, not the selling or the marketing. And so that's why I like this part of it. And just to reinforce what you said, it's so important to know where they are in that process, in the awareness. Otherwise, you're wasting your time, you're wasting your money, you're wasting everything.
Yeah, so like the problem aware or the solution aware stage is the next one, but I want to jump to the most aware stage to jump to piggyback off of what you just said for a second, because the most aware stage is when people are ready to buy. That's what it really means. And there's different people call it something different. They most aware, or I don't know what, I forget what else they call it, but it's basically this is when people are waiting for an offer or a discount or whatever it is. They're just ready to buy. And what marketers do, and by the way, I'm not pointing any fingers here because I was one of them, and they go, hey, you got a problem, go buy my thing. So they jump, and you just mentioned Bernadette Jiwa, and I'm not sure if it's in that book or not, about the decision and all that, and how to go through the bonding and the trust, and they're skipping these areas. So they go from problem aware right to most aware, like go buy my thing. So with that said, if we go back to the third level where there's solution aware, that's a really good place to start, because people are looking now for a solution. They know they've got a problem and they're actively looking for a solution. And then the fourth phase is the product aware. So that means that they are aware of certain products that are out there, and we're just going to call products for whatever it is. It could be it could be a service. It doesn't really matter. And they're aware of products, and they could also be aware of yours, but more than likely they're aware of other things, and they also could have tried other things. And so this is the sweet spot. I wish this was on my iPad, but I couldn't do that in time. But between the solution and product aware is where the dream client lives. That's where we meet them, because there could be a whole bunch of situations in there. They're already looking for a solution. They've already maybe tried, in my case, they've already tried solutions and they don't work. They're aware of other products, other coaches, other things, and they're like, no, and they're comparing things. And so that's where I can come in and talk to them and move them through my chain of beliefs, which then brings them to between product aware and most aware, and they're waiting again on our timeline, right? Our 3 pillars. I'm respecting their timeline to make the decision to become a customer. I'll stop there and let you
Okay, I've
come
got
in.
a question for you, Joey.
Yes.
Where does it fit where somebody is like, I've got this problem, or I want this solution, I want this result, and they're maybe not actively looking for it. They're more of like putting it out there. Like, I wish I could find a way to do X.
Yeah.
And they're not like sitting there searching the internet and doing things. They're more of, there's got to be a better way to do this. There's got to be a way to fix this.
Yeah.
Where does that fit in here?
Well, okay. So I think I was reading Rebecca's comment there. So I think I missed, again, this is my brain not functioning fully today. I think I missed the front end of it, but I think you said they're not actively looking. Is that what
Correct.
you said?
Yeah.
I would argue that. Like, I think that they are actively looking. Like, if they're
My
saying
my
there must be a better way, it may not be that they're on every single day at Google trying to find it. It may not be an urgent problem. Maybe is that the word you're looking for? Is like,
well, it no, they're like, okay, I would like to um I would like to eat better than I already eat.
yeah,
And but I already ate well. I ate organic, I ate local nut, but I really wanted to find something that would take my eating to the next level of proper, really great nutrition. And I wasn't searching for anything. I wasn't looking because I've seen everything. I've tried a lot of things. So I wasn't actively looking, searching, but I was contemplating or hoping or whatever the word. So I wasn't really, I didn't do any
yeah.
Google
So
searches.
again, this is going to be a semantics issue, because
Okay.
I think that you're right. I'm not arguing that you're wrong at all. I think that there's a couple of ways to look at this because it, maybe you weren't actively looking for, let me get a solution out here, but first of all, your subconscious was, and that you had already tried a solution that you're happy with, or maybe you weren't completely happy, and you were aware of maybe other products. You're like, well, whatever. So you're sitting in the solution and product aware stage to me. It doesn't mean that you're out there every day. I got to get this fixed. I got to get this fixed. And that could be like levels of where they are, like the degree of where they are in between solution and product, right? So it doesn't stop just because you're problem aware. Doesn't mean it stops. Doesn't mean we don't talk to that, and we'll speak to that in a little bit later. But to me, I would still say no. You're actively looking for it. You're just not obsessed with it every single day. So
Okay, so
go ahead.
I want to affirm what you're saying and agree with it. And again, there's no right or wrong here.
Yeah,
And you are right. I just wanted to really clarify that it by actively looking, and you're right, it is. I did fit for what I bought. I was the dream client between the problem aware and solution aware. And when
yeah,
that email came, it
right.
was like exactly what I was looking for. And again, looking was a subconscious manifest kind of thing. It wasn't an active search. And I just wanted to bring that to the forefront that that's where a lot of them are. They may have searched and said, I've tried a bunch of crap and haven't found anything yet that works. And then all of a sudden, there you are. Go.
Yeah, and like what you just said is very powerful, and I hope everybody heard that because, your brain immediately was able to identify that this thing might be a better solution or the best solution than anything. You didn't have a
Yep.
lot of time, or didn't need a lot of time to really make the decision, so you moved from, problem and solution right into most awareness. I'm ready to buy. I'm because you were already comparing the other things that were out there. That's why prefluence and all that stuff is super super important. So however got into that world, that's what prefluence is all about. So that person did the job right by constantly showcasing, demonstrating all that things, and landed up, and you found it somehow, or they found you.
Well, and I want to reinforce what you said, reinforcing what I said. And that's a really important piece in the pillar, the three pillars of if you serve and don't sell and respect their timeline, and you're just prefluence and putting it out there and doing your 4% multipliers and doing everything right, then when they come upon it, whether it be a post or a blog or a conversation or a video or a YouTube, wherever it is, they don't have to be educated. They only have to do I had to do a quick read and say, I'm in. I didn't have to go through all the processes and all the steps and taking me through this whole process to this and who are you and what. It was like, you know what? Let me give it a shot. If I don't like it, I'll get my money back. It's simple.
Yeah.
Go. Cough.
Yeah, there was like, here's another example of this. Like yesterday,
Wait,
or
wait, one sec.
yeah,
Hold that example. Lorna came in. I don't think we said hi. Lorna, maybe we did. Jeffrey came in. Hi, Jeffrey. Welcome. Thanks. So, and then Rebecca had a question, but give your example, and then maybe we'll go do that.
yeah, I'm going to go back to Rebecca because I do want to answer that. It's a great question. I don't know who this Facebook user is.
That's Jeffrey.
Oh, okay, that's Jeffrey.
Oh, that's Rebecca responding to Jeffrey's hi all.
Okay, okay, great. So here's my example. I bought another cat litter 2 days ago. Supposed to be one of the best ones, right? And I've been trying different ones now. And so the first ones we used to buy a long time ago was like, $29 Costco thingy. And I'm like, too much dust and all this stuff. So anyway, so I'm like trying to get the better ones. And I got a better one almost a year ago. And I've been seeing this other one. And I was comparing to them going, I don't really know. Anyway, long story short, the other one, it keeps coming up all the time in the Instagrams and all the kind of stuff, right? So the one that I have now is not bad. But then yesterday or 2 days ago, I bought it. The best one, or apparently. So I don't know yet. And that's prefluence. And the reason it worked wasn't because the other one was bad or is bad. It's because of not only being constant, not in my face, but every once in a while, like, okay. And the story. The story is different. And that's what we're going to talk about today, like how that all leads in. But for some reason, and it wasn't like the decision was made Well, I guess you can argue that the decision to buy was made 2 days ago, but the decision really was made a long time ago in my mind, subconsciously, to say, there's probably going to be a time in the future I'm going to try this, right? And it was just incredible, like how I saw it happening, like in real time, buying it and then zooming out and seeing myself as a marketer going, you know exactly what's happening here, right? So it's
Yeah.
just incredible, like how that happens, and it has and had everything to do with story, and that was it. And yeah, so anyway, I just wanted to share that.
No, and that's that again. We're pushing this, but it's so important because that's where your dream client is between those two. Is they don't need a lot. And what you said too, Joey, was okay. You saw it on Facebook, you saw it on Instagram. It wasn't like, well, okay, we served this guy up one email or one post or one thing and he didn't buy, so let's move on to somebody else. It
Yeah,
goes to years ago when I was studying Perry Belcher and he bit his nails,
yeah,
and he bit them so bad they, his cuticles. He bit them so bad they'd bleed. And this is at the simplest level. Every month he got an email, and it simply said, "Still biting your nails? Click here." That was it. Now,
yeah,
obviously, we're talking that, but the fact is, it was just every month he'd get that, and one day he was biting them so badly they were bleeding and painful, and
yeah.
that came up, and he clicked it. And that's obviously the simplest way to do it, but it goes to the, I don't know if it's 7 times you have to tell somebody something, or 12 or 4, who knows, before they actually, and how can you measure it anyway these days? And why would you? Because you've got whatever you want to call them out there all over the place. I don't know what term.
Benefit breadcrumbs.
Okay, thank you. Benefit breadcrumbs. Thank you. All over. And why would it doesn't matter, because somebody may have watched your video on YouTube that is about profit first and then come into you. Somebody might have been in Kajabi. They might have gotten an email that somebody might have said. There's just so many different ways. And why would you spend time trying to analyze, well, this and that and that? It's like, you know what? I get people from Kajabi because they need to learn what you have. So let me
Yeah,
spend time here and this. So go on.
yeah. And to your so let me bring it to back to the cat for a second, like what you just said, because the whole that's one way of doing it. Like, well, are you still biting your nails? Are you still biting your nails? And that's like it's a pain. You're always sticking the knife in. That's one way. What the cat thing did is different. What the cat thing is follow what I'm showing here. It was more of picking out different problems and solutions. And so the solution that got me, I guess if you want to call it that, was that, you know, I don't spend my days sifting through cat litter anymore. Like it's rare that I do that. And I'm like, "Oh wow, okay, cool." So, and when it comes out, it doesn't come out like clumps of clay. You know what I mean? And that's exactly what happens to this one. Even though it's great and there's no odors and all that stuff, I still see clumps of clay. And I'm like, okay, then if that's the promise, which as you can see, I'm kind of jumping ahead here, but if you can look down between the solution aware and the product aware, you go down to like trust you, and you can see below that it says secret and promise. Well, they gave me a promise. They gave me and they kind of said that there's a secret formula to our thing. They didn't really say that, but that's what they're insinuating, or and we'll get to that. But they gave me a promise. And so I was in that solution aware, product aware, going, I've already tried these other ones. This one's telling me this, so I'm going to buy that.
Joey, do you know what the final deciding factor was? What pushed you over the edge, for better terms? Any idea? Like if
It
you were
was that.
analyzing?
It was that other story. It was that final story. Like I've heard
Okay.
other, like to give you an example of what they say. It helps find any problems within their urine, right? And when they do their thing, because it's white and it can change color and you can see problems ahead of time and all these things. That's important to me, but it didn't do it for me. And odor control was like, okay, great, but all the other ones do odor control as well, so that didn't get me. And it was more of just the fact of I don't you don't have this clay anymore. Like here's what it looks like on ours, and here's the other one, and they showed it, and I'm like, yeah, that's happening to me every day. This one, the other one's great. There's no dust, and that's the other thing they claim. There's no dust and all this stuff, but this is what the other guys look like when you take it out, and it's clumpy and it's got all this stuff. And this is what this one looks like. It's just a nice little white little package. It looks like almost like a white hockey puck, basically. And you're like, oh, that's cute, right? So I'm like, great. That's what I want. So
Right.
so that was it. It was just the story. And this is what I mean when I talk about, the superpower matrix and sharing your stories and all that stuff, and knowing, understanding your customer, all these things combined. And that's what they were doing. They were telling story like it was, they understood, because they have a cat too. They understood, I knew they understood me, and that was really important. So I have no idea what this what the outcome's going to be, because I haven't got it yet. But does that answer your question? Like, what got me?
Yeah, definitely. Thank you. Yeah, that was. I wanted to say what you did, which was, yeah, each one was a little story, and you were comparing, and then all of a sudden, one of the stories gave you. You were like, okay, that's cool. I want that. Because
Yeah,
again, all the others were comparing. You'd already done research. You knew. You bought. You that. You knew what you wanted, but you
yeah,
didn't know that there was something out there. And then they were like, that was the, let's call it the tipping point in the chain of belief, so to speak, even though it's a little bit different. And that probably goes into a perfect segue to Rebecca's question.
yeah. So Rebecca's asking about the chain of beliefs and where does it come in? How does the stage of awareness intersect with the chain of beliefs? It's super critical, because you're meeting people at the barstool moment on your chain of beliefs. And that's where, for me, I'm saying, as a dream client, I believe the barstool moment is between the solution and product aware. Like, that's where the chain of beliefs begins to happen. So that's why it's so super critical. So I was in their chain of beliefs, you want to call it that, and I was in a belief already. I already have a product. I already have something that doesn't smell, whatever. Like, I was already believing that, and so the chain of beliefs is critically attached to where you meet them. So wherever you want to meet them, if you're in the problem aware stage, and that's where the barstool moment begins for you, Rebecca, then that's where it is, and you have to bring them through believing that you have the solution. Then they have to believe that your product is the right one for them, and then the most aware is like, okay, the offer is the right thing for me. So that's where the chain of beliefs starts. For me, it starts between solution and product, because I can speak to you on that level to say, you've already tried these coaches, you've tried this marketing, you've tried funneling. Let's unfunnel. So you've tried these products, and you've been frustrated. You got nothing. And now I don't really talk about Atlas in the chain of beliefs, but that's the product I'm building you up to understand the difference between Atlas and everything else. And then you get to a point, probably as I'm saying this, Rebecca, let me know if I'm right or wrong. You were in my world, I know, for a little while. Was it 2 years or something? That you then were between the product and the most aware stage for those 2 years. You were just comparing and listening. You knew about Atlas. Then you decided, you know what? I think this is the right time for me to actually try this thing. And you were just waiting for the right moment. So let me know if I'm right or wrong, or if I'm totally off the rails on that one. Do you want to add
You're
anything there,
totally
Scott?
off the rails, Joey. Just you're totally off the rails. Just wanted to confirm that for
Yeah.
you.
So the
Apparently,
barstool moment.
go.
Yeah. So Rebecca, the barstool moment for me is the between solution and product aware, because I believe that that's where dream clients live. And if I was painting a broad stroke across everyone in Atlas, then yes, this is what I preach. I'd say your dream client sits between solution and product aware. Don't It's not that you don't talk about problems and all that other stuff, but you don't meet people there. And so for me, I know that my dream clients are fully aware of problems, but they are out. If they're between problem and solution, they are distracted. They are all over the place. What should I do? Should I build sales pages? Should I build funnels? Should I do Facebook ads? Which coach should I get? What program should I buy? Should I do organic? And all these other things. They're very, very scattered, and it I can't do my superpower meeting people there. So I let the market shuffle them, and then they try things that don't work. Unfortunately, this is just how it is for me, for my market. And then they get solutions that don't work, and then they find me between solution and product.
It was interesting. Rebecca said for a while, I was thinking, there's no way I'm ever joining Atlas.
Yeah. And what made you switch? Why did you try it? If you're willing to share that.
And then she said, problem aware people equals scattered.
That's what I believe. I mean, this is not a broad stroke. I'm just painting the picture from my understanding of knowing my dream client inside and out. If they tell me
Yeah.
they've got a problem that they can't sell or whatever, like the questions I ask them or the conversation I have with them, I can tell where they are on this level. Are they on between problem and solution, or are they between solution and product?
So where do you? Here's Jeffrey. Um,
Yes. Oop. I just busted that one. Hang on a minute. Let's go back here. Want to read that, Scott?
sure. Jeffrey says I came late. I'm checking my PDFs for Atlas. I can't find the lead copy decision tree. I do have the chain of beliefs. Can we get a copy of this?
Yeah, it's not in Atlas, but I will definitely give you a copy. And if anybody watching this right now, you don't have to be in Atlas to get this, but you do have to come into our Facebook group. How's that for a call to action? Come into our Facebook group, and I will post
No,
this
no. That
copy.
was the call. Was that a call to action or a call to engagement?
Oh,
Which one?
call to engagement. That's it. We gotta put those down. I gotta remember them now because I want to put
Right,
that
we
up
got
on my
call
wall.
to action, call to engagement, and call to buy. I wrote those three definitions. We need to put those somewhere. Build a thing, build a framework, build a chart, do something on the
It was
iPad.
so. Wait a minute. It was call to act. It was call to engage, right? And it was call to
To
invite, right?
engage, which we heard from Sophie,
Yeah.
was I thought it was call to buy,
It was
unless call
call.
to
But it's
invite's
call to
another one. Call to
engage,
action.
call to invite.
I thought it was call to engage, call to buy, and call to action. I didn't know invite was there.
Yeah, I think there's invite. The call to buy is the thing. The call to action. Well, I guess we can call it action, but we can call it action or invite. It's more of an invite.
Well,
So
I
we're
think
inviting
action
people.
really is what you did was a call. Like a call to action is join the Facebook group. A call to action is go read this, go watch this, go do this.
Oh
A
god.
call
Okay,
to
got it.
buy obviously is buy
Yeah, yeah,
my
yeah.
stuff. A call to engagement is come hang out, do some more stuff, and so
Well,
whatever
no,
we're
a call to
talking.
engagement is this. Like react over here. Give me your opinion.
Right.
Right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
engage with us, hang out with us, talk to us.
Cool.
Um, the message navigator is call to engagement.
Yeah. So problem
Okay,
aware people are scattered. Yes, I believe that. That's for my market. It may not be for yours, but I know that that's where they are for me. Let me see. Why did I join Atlas? I want to read this one. Why did I join Atlas? Eventually, it was a lot of things. I think it just took time for me to really get it, and then I kept coming here for everything. So that's what I mean. Is you were sitting there between knowing all of the other things, and I was still talking about problems and solutions and all these other things, and you were just waiting, whether you knew it or not, for the most aware. You were already product aware because you already knew about Atlas. You already knew about everything else, and you were being offered Atlas. You remember, like that's always being invited to Atlas, not thrown in your face, but you were being there, and you're like, no, I'm not ready yet. This is not for me yet. And then you made a decision. So it's really
I
super
would
important.
I would
So-
love to know. I know Rebecca said that it was a lot of things. Same thing I asked you. Rebecca, do you know when you finally said, okay, this did it? I heard this, I watched this is what happened, and then I decided. Because that's really important too for your own product awareness of and chain of beliefs and all that is the lead copy decision tree. Where are they at when they actually do it? And it goes to the same thing in research and Facebook Messenger, the message navigator and all that is when do they actually? And then that ties into the chain of beliefs because we talked about like the first few steps are empathy and emotions before they get to the you know must have and tipping point. So you never pressure Joey Ragona, Narcissa says.
yeah, no, that's not what I'm all about. That's why I didn't. That's why I'm always triggered by that. What was the word? Yes, last week, Scott.
I don't know what word was last week.
Expectation. So, like,
Oh, okay. Thank you. I was like, right.
my brain is coming back.
Expectation as opposed to intention. Yeah. That came up somewhere this week. We're talking about
So
intention.
let's
Go.
let's go back to this, because I want to try and explain this because there's a lot going on here. It looks like it's a pretty simple chart to look at, but there's a lot going on to understand this. So I'm going to look at the chain of beliefs at the top. Now you can see that there's two words there. One is indirect and one's direct. And this is where in Great Leads you'll learn this, where you are speaking to people either indirectly or direct. And that's why I married the two because this makes sense. Because in an unaware, imagine going to someone who has no idea that whatever they should lose weight or I don't know whatever it is, and you're like, hey man, you should buy my weight loss program, here's my DVD, and they're like, what the hell are you talking about? Like, you have to be very indirect to them. And that's where so many people get this wrong. And even on the problem aware stage, there still is an indirect way. And so many marketers get it wrong because they're at the problem aware stage and they're saying, hey, are you biting your nails? Great. You need to go buy my program. Like they're talking to them in a direct way. Like they're pointing the problem out, but then they're saying, go buy this thing. And it totally screws up the person because they're not ready for it. They're not ready. And so, do you want to insert there anything before I go
No,
on here?
one. Go. Yeah, keep going.
So I want to go down to the bottom here. If you look at the problem aware stage, it says that they have to like you. This is a question and answer. So do they like you? If you're talking to somebody about it in a problem aware stage, you're talking different leads, which is a proclamation or a secret. It's not about the product, or it could be about the product, but it's not about the buying the thing yet. So in other words, it could be using Scott's example. It could be, are you biting your nails? Did you know that, I don't know, the more you bite your nails, the more enamel you know, goes, you screw up your enamel, and that could lead to heart disease or whatever. Like, I don't know, I'm just making this stuff up. So you lose your enamel, and now you got heart disease because you got bacteria all over your mouth. And it all started because you bite your nails. Did you know that? And they're like, holy crap, I didn't know that. That's a proclamation. That's also, it could be a secret. There's a secret that you don't know about biting your nails. Okay, so I'll leave it there. Do you have any input there? And
Go
I'll
on.
look at the comments
No, we're good.
or questions. Okay, so by direct. By direct, do you mean making an offer? Yes, that's what it means. The more direct, like when you get to the most aware stage, like Rebecca was in product aware, most aware, she was at a level, and Rebecca, again, let me know if I'm off track here, but there came a point in our conversation where I could directly say to you, you should just join Atlas. Like, whenever let's just join Atlas. This is how I can fix this, right? I became more direct with the conversation. It was more about Atlas. It was more about you joining rather than it was me trying to convince you or tell stories or give you testimonials about other people, all these other things. It was more like, yeah, I got you. That's what Atlas is all about. That's what Atlas will help you fix. Right? Do you remember that? So that's what direct is. But everybody tries that. Everybody tries to go right to the direct when they haven't built up. On the bottom, you can see it. Know, like, and trust. They haven't built it. And they think that these are just buzzwords in the marketing and copy industry. Oh, they got to know, like, and trust you. Right. And they're trying to do it within 5 minutes. So if you look at the bottom, those are the leads. So if you're talking to an unaware market, which I don't recommend at all. I don't think that anyone should be talking to an unaware market unless you have a lot of time, energy, and money. If you're Elon Musk and you're creating a new Tesla thingy, and all the power to you. But it's a lot of wasted time and energy. But on the other side of it, it's very lucrative. If you can tap into that market and you're the very first and you own it, you can make a whole bunch of money. But from our world, there's not a lot of us who have that time, energy, and money to do that, to educate that market, to take that position in their mind, and to own that market. So let's move to the problem aware stage. Do they like you? If they don't like you, then you don't move on. If they don't like you, then you're talking about proclamations, and again, you're talking about secrets. Here's a secret that I learned that you don't know. because you have this problem. And this is all having to do with copy, conversation, all that stuff.
You're on a roll.
Do you have any input
No, keep going. You
as a
just
copy dude? No. Okay.
no, you got. Well, I mean, as a copy dude, yeah, sure. You got to tell a story, and a story has to accomplish one thing, to move them to the next stage. And if they're unaware, then yeah, you got a story, and that story does not include what goes on at the end, which is, hey, buy Atlas. It's like, here's a story of somebody did something, and okay, now I start to get to know you. That's cool. And that's what the copy's job is to do. And the copy's job from your copy bank by
Well, let's give him
researching.
a real world example. What's a real
Okay.
world example?
Um, let's go with oh,
We can use the nails.
okay. Let's go with the nails then. It's cuticles, but it doesn't matter either way.
Whatever. So
So let's
if
go with
like
the
let's say
nail.
that if I notice you're biting your nails and
Right.
I want you and you don't really realize it. And I'm like, "Hey Scott, you know what? I remember, feeling really down and out, bad energy wise, and it all had to do with biting my nails. It's crazy how that really happened. And here's what happened. So I found out that basically I was, and I tell a story about how I was biting my nails, and then I found that by biting my nails, it was taking. I'm just making all this stuff up, by the way.
Oh yeah, yeah. And
I was depleted by energy and everything else, and then I read this article that kind of I don't know where it was. It was Time magazine or something, or I was at the dentist's office. I don't remember, and I read it, and I'm like, wait a minute, and I looked down at my nails, and they were all chewed up, and then I stopped, and it was like, holy crap, I'm actually getting more energy. So like I'm talking to you indirectly, and saying and hopefully igniting you to say, wait a minute. Maybe I do bite my nails and I am losing energy. Maybe that's why I'm not energetic or whatever. So I'm telling you a story. That's my
yeah,
made up
and
thingy.
the thing here too, Joey, is it can go different angles with that.
Yeah.
It could be, I was in an important meeting and blah blah blah, and everybody was there, and the CEO and the president of that, and I didn't realize it. And after the meeting, my boss came up to me and said, "Hey Scott, you kind of embarrassed me a little bit. You were biting your nails the whole time, and I've told the CEO that you're such an amazing person, and I saw him kept looking at you like you were distracting him."
Yeah,
And
yeah.
so, just again, it doesn't necessarily have to be one thing.
No,
Somebody could.
yeah, there's all kinds of different ways in. Yeah.
So the story is getting them to go, huh, rather than, if you're biting your nails, then it's probably blah, blah, blah. And they're like, I'm not biting my nails. So moving on.
Right.
As opposed to, like you said, a story, a proclamation of, this is what happened to me, or this is, what happened to a person. And as a result of it, here's what happened. So go.
So yeah, I think this is Rebecca too, right? Yeah, it is Rebecca.
Yeah, yeah.
So yeah, the story and the proclamation helps them know you, and then that's where if they do know you, then you're moving into the problem aware. If they know you and you've talked about the problem, are they aware of the problem? Yes. Then you're like, okay, do they like you? Then the answer is, if it's no, then you're going to continue, and I'll get rid of your comment there for a second. If it's no, if they like you, if they don't like you yet, then you're still telling proclamation. You can still tell stories. I'm pointing my mouse as if you can see it, but I'm going to the left. You can still tell stories, but now you can add in secrets. So you're getting them to you're getting them to like you. So your proclamation, if you do this, this will happen. Or here's a secret you don't know about, whatever it is. And then if they do like you, then you can start the conversation a little bit more directly, like in the solution aware. That's what this whole decision tree is all about. Depending on where you meet them or where the conversation is, depends on how direct and indirect you can talk to them. That's
So
why
how would you do a proclamation secret for the nail biter?
you don't have to do. So, okay, so that's a good question.
Why
So
not?
you don't have to do both. You could do one or the other, or both if you wanted to. It's just giving you an example of this is what if you're trying to, I'll use the word convince the problem aware person to move forward. the best leads or conversations are about proclamations and secrets, not about a promise, not about, hey, if you bought this stuff that I use, it will help you to stop biting your nails. That's a promise, right? It's like, go buy this and it'll help you. And that's what
Right.
everybody does. Everybody's like, go buy this thing. Whereas if you tell them a secret and say, did you know that there's this stuff called wild seed and it really helps you stop biting your nails if you put it on your nails? Like, it's just this little stuff, and I don't know why it's just called this. It's called wild seed. I don't know what it is. It's this thing that you extract from the earth. And then you could say, did you know that there's this other bottle that's called, you know, yellow bite, and if you buy it, it has that stuff in it? Well, I didn't know that. Holy crap.
Right. And then, I could play with, did you know that there is a meditation technique that you
Right.
can do for, you know, 2 minutes before any meeting where you might be nervous in that, and it will help you with that, so that won't happen. And well, by the way, there's a special one that will help you do this and that and that. So, we go from there, the proclamation or
Yeah,
the
there's an
secret.
app, right? So like if you did this 2 minute the thing to help you sleep or to help you become not nervous or whatever is amazing. And they're like, but did you know that there's an app who has like there's the ten best ones? I didn't know
Yep.
that.
Yeah.
Right? That's what I mean. So, but most people don't do that. They say, hey, are you having a problem sleeping or a bit nervous? Yes. Great. You need to meditate, and I've got an app to help you meditate. You see, there's a missing link between the two. Like,
What's it? Clarify the term secret for me. What's a secret?
a secret, you know what a secret is. A secret could be anything that they have never connected to the product or the solution yet.
I know what it was, but I
Okay.
wanted you to say it for the benefit, because it's like, I don't have any secrets. Yeah, you do. If they don't know something, then it's a secret until they know it. It's
Well,
simple.
dude, like okay, what's the secret of Atlas?
What's the secret of Atlas that nobody knew until they knew is you can build a group program, a cohort, without doing funnels, without doing all that crap. And the secret is it's relaxing, it fits within your dream life, and it becomes your dream business with dream clients, because you just do the same thing. You focus on the thing you get good at, and better and better and better and better. And it saves your life from all the insanity and bright and shiny objects and all that. Is that what Atlas is?
No. So what you just described was a proclamation.
Okay.
So you made a proclamation, which is right. The secret to Atlas is that dream clients are not the same as ideal client avatars. That's the whole secret. If you
I just wanted to
understand,
make sure. I wanted to make sure you knew. That's why I did that. So
I love you,
because
man.
you didn't know what unfunneling was last week.
Yeah, I love you, man. But would you agree?
Uh,
Like that's the main
oh,
secret. Like
totally. Yeah.
it's like,
That is,
well, right,
and that's the entry point to Atlas too.
right.
And that's the beauty of it is, and what do you talk about everywhere? The difference
So look,
between
so
good.
look at that, Scott. And then what we just uncovered there. Look at where it is on that chart. So you have a proclamation, you have a secret between problem aware and solution aware that I'm saying you can do all this stuff without funnels and without sales pages. But the main thing is you don't know who your dream client is, and it's not the same. So you can see why this all works, at least for me, right? So I'm telling you there's a secret that you don't know why your stuff's not working because you don't know who your dream client is. And doesn't matter where they are between problem or solution and product. I'm still
Right.
talking about a secret, right? Then when they understand that, they're like, oh, okay, great. And then they move from product to most, which is where Rebecca was and everybody else. And I said, okay, so now here's the promise. I'm going to help reduce all the stuff that you're doing. I'm going to give you back your life and all that stuff. And that's more of a promise, but it's also part of the proclamation I could use way back there. I'm hoping
And
that's
Joey,
making sense.
yeah, we've got a comment from Linda that says quality over quantity.
Mm-hmm. I don't know what that's in relation to. Probably because I don't see it on
I'm
this
not,
side, but
it just came up a few minutes ago on Facebook, and I'm not sure why it didn't populate, but oh well.
yeah, it didn't
That was
populate
Linda.
here. But
Yeah. Linda, could you
Definitely.
tell us what you give us a little more information on quality over quantity here, please? Thank you.
In what it's relating to.
Right. Okay.
So,
Where are we
is there okay? So I'll let you direct. Like, what questions do you have right now, Scott, about this, and then I can piggyback off of you.
Okay, the no's. So what I want to clarify is, okay, they don't know you. No. So what do you got to do? You got to your story proclamation has to get them to know you, and then they get to the problem aware, and they don't like you. What happens if they don't like you? Do you keep going? And then what if they don't trust you? So what happens if they go no, no, no? Then what? What if they get to solution aware and they don't trust you? Do you keep going for
Yes.
them to trust you? Okay.
Yeah. Like
And so,
so, I put a post out yesterday, a couple of days ago. I don't know if you saw it, and I said, "How did it go?" I said, "Make it really difficult for anyone to buy from you, but make it really simple and easy for dream clients to trust you."
hmm I like that.
So it was simpler than that, but it was basically make it hard
Right.
for anyone to buy, make it extremely simple and easy for dream clients to trust you. Notice I didn't say dream clients to buy from you because it's all about trust. So if they get to the point where they're solution aware, and this is where people are with me, bro. Like how many times have I said it? Where that my dream clients come in even after they buy Atlas. Sometimes they're like, okay, here's my money, but I don't trust you yet. And
Right.
they don't say
Yeah.
that, but I know it. I know that so many of them are like that, and I'm cool with it. I'm just very aware of it, and I know for a fact that everybody that even just comes into my world doesn't. They don't trust me. They haven't bought Atlas yet or anything. They just like this guy kind of sounds different, but they don't trust me. So if I'm asking that question, do they trust me yet? There's no reason for me to like, hey, you just joined my Facebook group, come and buy Atlas, which is what a lot of people do, right? They come join my Facebook group, get on a webinar, go buy my thing. They're like, what? So I would be crazy. I would be shooting myself in the foot if I did that. If I followed that aggressive, pushy bro marketing mentality. And a lot of it is not known because they don't know this stuff that we're talking about right now. This is why I want to share it with our tribe. So you're like
Yeah.
ahead of everybody else to not be as pushy when you don't even know you're being pushy. But now this is more of a visual that you could look at it and say, this is the guide in order for me to how do I have conversations with people and what do those conversations look like?
Joey, what about the female of the gender of the species who are doing that kind of marketing? Is that cis marketing or is it
They're all
still
bro
considered?
marketers. Like it's amazing how many females identify other females as bro marketers.
Okay, I was just curious. I wasn't.
Yeah, I
It's,
don't know. I'm not the official the judge on it, but I've heard that before too. Or like yeah, they're all bro marketers.
what do you mean you're not the judge on it? Says who? I say you're the judge. There, make a judgment. Okay, where are we, Joey?
Well, is there a question you have here or need some clarity on it?
No, I think okay. Uh, let's say they get to the most aware stage
Yes.
and they don't buy from you. Then what? Then what? Do you keep going?
No, well that's okay because they're like I'll just use Rebecca because she brought it up, and she was in the most aware stage. She got there, and it doesn't mean that I can't talk about all the other stuff like problems and all these other things, but she's in the most aware, and I could, and she is again, Rebecca. Please let me know if I'm not right, but she doesn't get mad at me by giving her a direct offer. Like I could send an email to her and people in that most aware and say, "Hey, Atlas is starting next week. Do you want to join?" And they're not going to get angry at me. If it's every week, yes. If they go through that whole bro marketing pushy thing, yes.
Right.
But I don't have to build it up anymore. They already know, and they're just waiting for the right time for them. It doesn't mean I can't invite them, and that's why the most aware stage
You
is
do that
obviously the
brilliantly.
best.
You do that brilliantly, as an example, again, with Atlas or WMC or Right Marketing Copy for those that don't know what WMC is. And you just put it out casually at whatever point that the stars are fluttering and go, I'm starting another cohort. And if you're interested, let me know. That's it.
Right.
Not like you said, I've joined so many Facebook groups, and the second I join, the next day I start the email sequence to buy the thing and sign up for the webinar and get the thing or this, and then the deadline and the offer's closing and blah blah blah, and it's just exhausting beyond belief.
Yeah. So that this whole thing helps you understand, at least it was for me, because I needed to see it visually of like what was I doing wrong? And what I was doing wrong back in 2016 to 19 was going from you've got this problem and like a speedway all the way to the direct offer. It was like, so if you can see where problem aware is on that indirect line, it's pretty indirect. So I'm kind of calling them out, like getting them to raise their hand, and they're kind of shy in the background. They're putting up their hand and going, yeah, I think I kind of have that problem. And then I go boom right to the direct and say, here's my thing, go buy it. And I'm like, why isn't this working for me? And that's because they didn't like me yet, or they obviously didn't trust me, and they haven't bought from me. Look at the bottom boxes. Even if they did like me, did they trust me? No. Did they buy from me yet? No.
Right.
So
And
I'm
as you
trying to
said,
go right to most aware.
yeah, as you said, they're not going to buy from you till they trust you.
Right. So then the question comes up is, okay, so now let's say somebody bought from you, and then let's say you have a new offer, which, that happens a lot because there's people who have multiple offers. Then on a most aware stage, that's the easy part, because you can go back and say, you bought this, or you already know about this. I'm not saying that's the copy, but you could be it. That's where a direct offer is. Hey, we've got this thing coming up. Would you like to join us? And it's easy.
It's so much easier when you get there. And when I had the software company, I still do, but after I launched the software, and they were already at that stage, they were product aware, they
Right.
bought, they loved. And so when it was like, hey, I've got this new collection of assets or scenes, here you go, they already knew me, liked me, trusted me. I didn't have to go through anything. It was like, I got this cool thing that's going to help you do this thing even better. Here it is. You want it? Great. If not, no worries. So,
Right.
yeah,
So they knew you, they trusted you, and they already bought from you. They already knew the product. You didn't have to build the product up again. You didn't have to tell them what the product was. You just said, this is something that's going to enhance what you've already got. Right? Here's a direct
to,
offer.
yeah,
Done.
I think, Jay Abrahams, I think he coined this. Correct me if I'm wrong. There's only three ways to get business, get new
Yeah.
customers, get them to come back more often, and increase the size of the sale that they're spending. That's it. Is that Abrahams?
Yes,
Okay.
definitely.
Yeah. Same thing here. That applies to this.
Yes.
Is okay. Through this, you'll get new customers, and you get them to come back more often and increase the size of the sale because you don't have to do anything. And again, we're talking about value. It's not like, great, I got customers. What else can I sell them and throw it
Right.
just for the fun of it? It's like, this is truly going to help you get more of what you want or go to the next level. All of us attain mastery of something, but then it's like climbing a mountain. You get to the top and go, oh, there's the next one, the taller one. I get to this, I figure that out. I told you I use this example often of cash copy. First time I read it, I got all the ideas that I needed that I could understand and implement. And then after I implemented them, I had to go back because there was a next level. I joined a coaching program that's a group coaching, and once or twice a month I get on and I learn something and I start to improve and make more money and become more proficient. When they put out an offer and say, hey, want to work with me one-on-one? You want to come to a weekend event? You want to join? I'm going to be like, probably. They don't have to go through anything again. So it's so much easier to, I'll use the word sell to people if you've used the curate your tribe, serve, don't sell, and respect their timeline. Once they're in, they've proclaimed their timeline. I'm in, I'm ready. And then when they
Yeah.
get to the level and they've consumed it, okay, I got another thing for you that's going to help you because they're going to go get it from somebody. And if you can do it better, then do it. Go.
Yeah, it all depends on what your model looks like for sometimes if you're adding other products in or you're doing other things, you might have to use this all over again because they don't know what the real problem is and you got to sell it all over again. That's why I'm not a big fan of just bringing in other things. Let me
Right.
get you to the next thing. Let me introduce this other thing. So there is there like I'm more of a supporting the things that I offer outside of Atlas, which is very far and few between, is a supporting actor for Atlas.
Right.
That's all it is.
Right.
It amplifies it. It's not a different thing, so I don't have to reteach them. I don't have to even write marketing copy. What is right marketing copy based on? Dream client. It has everything
Client.
to do with dream
Hey,
client,
I got
right?
that one right. I got that one right. I want a gold star or one extra point for that. So,
You
Joey, let
do.
me okay. So,
Sure.
going back to what you just said, you might have to go start all over if you've got something. But do they have to know you, like you, and trust you again, or do they have to just? Where does that fit in? Like you said, you might have to go do it over again. Where does
Yeah.
that come
So
in?
okay. So if I was, offering right marketing copy,
Right.
they may not know that they've got a problem of how
Okay.
to write copy.
Got it.
Okay. But they do like me. So I can start off with well, one of the reasons why you may not be able to write the invitation blueprint is because you're not using the right language of the market.
Right.
And I can show you how to get the right market copy, which is now I'm sharing the secret, right, of the problem aware. They're like, "Oh, that's the problem. I don't know how to get the language." And Joey's got the secret. And it goes
So
right into its right marketing copy. And here's the secret. It's called the right fast method. I'm going to show you how to get the right copy from the market. And
I don't think you used the word right enough in that sentence. Can you add a
yeah,
couple more rights in there? So,
you see,
Joey, let me
but
ask
I'm
you.
going really quickly through it because now it's
Yeah,
getting right to the promise. Like I can go
right.
immediately because they already like me, they already trust me. I can give them a secret and a promise all in one shot,
So
and even
that's what I
offer the
wanted.
product.
That's what I wanted to reinforce was you're really going back down to the bottom level
Right,
of
exactly.
because you don't have to get them to know, like you, and trust you. They already do, but you need to go back to the you know the so you're using one and three. Two's already done. You're going back and using the top of the levels of awareness, and the bottom is what copy you're doing. Would that be correct?
Right. So I'm just figuring out where are they on the levels of awareness. That's always the first thing for me. Where are they? So if somebody says, Joey, I don't know, like I'm writing this invitation blueprint, but it's just not landing. I don't know what's going on. And I'm like, okay, that's the problem. And I go, the problem is you're not using the right language of the market. So I know where they are. They're right in between problem aware and they're looking for a solution. They don't know they're looking for it, but I'm like, here's the solution. And they're immediately
Joey,
going to trust me and listen to me.
Joey, for those that may be watching on the replay or catching this on Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, LinkedIn, blah, blah, and boozglaw, could you just quickly describe what you mean by invitation blueprint for somebody that's like, what is he talking about?
Oh, yeah, I'm using that in this language. That's the sales document. That's what it's
Okay,
called. Yeah,
got it.
it's just the sales
Just
document
wanted to
from.
clarify that because someone like, what is he talking about?
Yeah,
Uh,
sorry,
Jeffrey
I'm
has,
always in like Atlas
no, I
lingo.
want you to be. That's what this is. That's your thing. You gotta. That's marketing. That's how we sell.
Yeah,
By talking about our stuff and how it helps people in that and the different elements of it and the. So Jeffrey's got another good. Well, everything's good. Want me to read it or you read it?
yes, please.
Jeffrey says you're describing that you start with the true intent that you know you can help them, want to help them, have the patience and ability to help them, and have the follow up to make sure they are satisfied with their decision to buy from you. Well put.
Yeah, that's totally a given, Jeffrey. What we're relating all this to is how you can relate what you just said to marketing is to understand where they are on the levels of awareness. Because I'm hoping that everybody watching this show for the last 3.5 years are heart-centered people, that you're mission-driven and you do want to help people from your heart. So that's a given. And having the patience and everything is great because you want to respect their timeline. But this is what we're trying to show here is the visual of where you're starting the conversation and how should the conversation be. And I think the eye-opening thing for me was the indirect piece of it because I was always direct. It was like, hey, let me point out a problem because I'm a copywriter. I write copy forever. Like that's what I was doing. Like, let me point out the problem and lead them to the sale. But This was more, and Bernadette helped me with all her books too. I'm like, wait a minute, this is probably not the right way. And putting this together at least helped me. I don't know if it's helping anybody else, but it was no, I need to speak a little bit more indirectly to the problem, not give the offer at the problem aware stage. If they're stuck in problem aware and solution, like I still have, I still talk to people right now who are in problem aware and solution, and they're like, I can't sell, but I'm buying this other program, or I'm working with this other coach, and I'm doing this all. My job is not to get them out of there. My job is to talk to them at that level. Say, okay, great. Is there any questions you have? Did you know? And I still would give my beliefs and secrets that, hey, a dream client is different. Did you know that? And they're like, no, I've already done that. And my coach says this, or this program says that. I'm like, great, that's fantastic. And I leave them alone until it doesn't work. And then they move to the product, the solution product, and say, yeah, I tried this other thing and it didn't work. What are you talking about? And I'm still not saying Atlas. I'm still saying, well, come into my world. Let's talk a little bit. So that's how I'm respecting their timeline, and I know I can help them. But if they're stuck within that loop of product and solution, they might like me, but they don't trust me yet. So there's no reason for me to be very direct to what and Scott, like can you see what I'm talking about here? Like when you see it in threads or whatever, and people are
Oh
stuck
yeah,
in that problem and solution, and then you get people going in there and saying, "Let's jump on a clarity call and I'll fix it." Like
exactly.
they're
Yeah.
that's where they're at, and they're like, "Well, no wonder they're not buying because
All right.
they're stuck there."
Yeah.
So that's what you don't want to do, and this is what I was doing, thinking that, well, I've talked to their problem, I've done that, I've given them the solution. Why aren't they buying from me? That's because I was way too direct at the level that they were at on the customer levels of awareness.
And those of you that are watching on Facebook or Twitter or YouTube or LinkedIn or wherever you're watching, give Joey some love. Give the show some love. Give us a heart, a thing, a thumbs up, a dancing rainbow, a unicorn, anything to let the algorithms know that you're here and interacting and engaging with all of this. And Joey posted, if you haven't joined the Facebook group, join that now. Hashtag live if you're watching live. Hashtag replay if you're watching the replay. And Rebecca made a comment here. That's the Facebook user that just commented.
Oh, there it is. Great. Okay, cool. So when people reach out to you for one of your clarity calls, that means they are at the stage that they trust you. You're able to help them.
Yeah.
No, I don't know if
No.
you're asking me directly, and it all depends on the context. They don't I guess they paint a broad stroke, and they don't trust me.
Right. And
What would you say?
that Joey, no, I agree with you. And that's the biggest challenge I see with clarity and discovery calls is it's like, okay, you're interested. Let's get on a clarity and discovery call so I can ask you a bunch of questions and sell you. And I think that's the biggest challenge because they don't trust you. It takes a while for that to happen. And it's a tough thing to do on a clarity call because they know most clarity calls, they're setting you up to sell. Later, Jeffrey. Thanks for joining us. Appreciate the kind words.
Yeah, and by the way, on the clarity call to that question, Rebecca, I could get them to the level of trust. And I'm not trying to, I just show up as me. And so they might move from, and I don't know because they don't really come on the call and say, I don't trust you. Prove to me who I trust you, right? But I could feel the energy shift. And I'm going,
Yeah.
okay, maybe they trust me a little bit more now. And sometimes it's blatant because they'll say, like, how do I work with you? Or tell me more about, like, how do I work? Or what's this Atlas thing you've been talking about or whatever. And I know that they kind of trust me at that point. And it may not be 100%, but they're moving towards that trust.
Right.
Right?
Yeah. Yeah. And that's Rebecca has two comments with Christopher in the middle of those two comments.
Okay, so you want to read them, Scott? So this
Okay.
is,
How about I read both of Rebecca's and then we'll go to Christopher?
yeah, for sure.
Okay. So Rebecca says, because you were saying you don't pressure anyone to get on a discovery call, they reach out. And then she said, or you're saying because you don't try to sell them something on the call, that helps them trust you.
Yes.
Yes. Yep. And you do that brilliantly, Joe. You get them on a call and you figure out and that and you help them and then it's like, okay, great, to tell me what you want to do.
Yeah, for me, like again, I'm just speaking from my personal. I've been doing discovery calls for ages and ages, and it's only in the last little while that they've totally gone from 80% of my time down to like not even 20 anymore. And the
Right.
most for me, there are the odd ones that are coming in just because like I want to get on a brainstorm call. I want to see what this guy's all about, and they're not really in my world yet. They're brand new to my world. So those are the true discovery call thingies, right? That's what normally happens. But I don't sell them. So I'm totally, and I don't even sell the other ones. But the other ones I'm talking about are ones where they're fully in they're fully in the stage of product aware to most aware. That's where they are. They know about Atlas. I'm just going to use Atlas as the example. They know about it, and they want to know more. They want to know more clarity about Atlas, or they want to know if how it'll help them. So they want clarity about the program and about their situation. So the clarity call is more about how is this truly going to help me, and they're building up more trust to say, is this guy for real? So those are the more of the clarity calls I have now. They're far and few between because I don't even need them anymore, but that's what happens to me. Do you want to input any there, Scott? On
No,
what
good.
about you? Like your clarity calls, how do they, or do you have them? I don't know.
I don't really have them, Joey, but when I do have them, I go through a similar intake slash message navigator esque hybrid and just basically find out what's going on that and that. And if at the end they say, well, how do I engage with you or whatever, or what do you got? Then I'll answer it. But if not, it's not going to be okay. So now you good? You got everything. Now let's talk about how
So
you can
where
find.
where are most people for you on the chart? Are they in what I'm talking about between the solution and sorry the I'm losing my mind here, the product and most
Problem.
aware, or are they
Yeah,
between the solution and product or lower than
solution
that?
and product aware.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. Yeah.
Most of them come to me is like they've been beaten the beaten to death, and that they know that they need to find an answer. They're kind of looking. They've looked. They've hired people in that, and now they're like aware that there's a solution. They just don't know the product.
Yeah, so
And
that's
so
kind of where they are for me too. Like the ones that are coming into my world are there, but I don't have a lot of those. That's what they used to be, a lot
right,
of. And then I tried to sell them like right away, and that didn't
yeah,
work. And then it was like, okay, well now it's more of the just the product aware. I've been in your world for a while. I just want to know if Atlas is going to work for me, whatever.
yeah.
Okay, so
So
this one is from
that's
Christopher.
Christopher. How did you come up with the second process map, Christopher Stapleton? And then I asked him, which process map are you referring to? And he said number two. And Rebecca said, I think Christopher means the know, like, trust map. So I'm not
I
sure
didn't come
number
up with
two.
that. So that was from Rich Efron, and so I'm just married to two of them, and he was talking about, or was it from? No, that was from. No, that was from. There's a whole bunch of different frameworks that I married together. I know
Yeah.
that the story proclamation on the bottom, those whole things are from Great Leads, and I think Rich was talking about how they like and trust you. And it was more in a tree, like it was a different map. And then I took that and I'm like, wait a minute, it makes more sense to me looking at it this way. And then it dawned on me that to layer on top the levels of awareness. So I think I stole from Rich on number two, and then I married. Again, I can't remember, but I'm giving them all credit, like where they came from. But
Right.
the whole chart of what you're seeing is what I created, putting all the pieces together.
Awesome.
If that's what you're asking, Christopher. So there you go. That is the lead copy decision tree. It will help you have conversations easier with your clients and helping you scale back on trying to sell them right away depending on where they are. Even if you didn't have number 2 on the bottom, even if you just had the top level, I think that's really good to even understand that. Where are they on the levels of awareness, and how direct or indirectly should I be talking to them about what I do? I'm curious about why you know. What's this? Just curious about why know you comes up before like you. Oh, okay. So know you, they have to know you. So if they don't know you, then there's no reason that they would be liking you or trusting you. They have to know you. So knowing, I don't know how else to explain that one. Scott, can you help me on that one?
Well, if if somebody is at the unaware stage and they don't know you, they have to first know you from a story, from a post, from an interaction, from something. Then once they know you, it's like human beings. You don't just like meet somebody and decide if you like them or not yet. You have to get to know them a little bit before you like them. And then before you will trust them, you have to know them and like them. So let's just take the buy out of it in any relationship. I meet somebody for the first time, I didn't know them. So how could I tell if I like them or not? Now I know you, I like you. Okay. And now that I like you, I get to decide, okay, are you consistent? Do I trust you? Then I trust you. So there you go.
Yeah, it's kind of like when how many people do you know, Scott, in your world that don't know who Tony Robbins is?
Everybody.
Right. So
In
it's like
everybody in my yoga world and my real world has no clue who Tony Robbins
right.
is.
So that's what we're talking about. So you're like,
Right.
if somebody in those worlds said, I don't know, I want to be more, I want to like myself better, and you're like, yeah, well, you should listen to Tony Robbins. They're like, who? They don't
Yeah.
know who that person is, and they're
No.
like, okay, and then you show them a video, and they decide, I don't like this guy. I
Right.
know who he is, but I don't like this guy, and I'm not going to listen to him anymore. Right? So it has to start. Do you know
Right.
this guy? So yeah,
Now, Christopher asked, these are dream clients, eh? I
yeah.
added
Well,
the
I
A.
say yes.
Yeah.
I say they're dream clients in training for sure. They have to know who you are, know of you, and then move along
So
the path.
you said, and I just wanted to clarify that dream clients in training, not yet dream clients.
Right.
There's a difference.
Totally a difference. Which
Right.
to everyone else, if you don't know what dream clients in training is, it's my word for prospect. It's
Right.
just that there are people who could become dream clients in the future. These are great questions.
Yeah, great questions. Lots of interaction, lots of
Love it.
comments, lots of stuff.
So let us know if you like the show. Just give us a little heart or thumbs up or something like that. Like Scott was saying, let Facebook know that we're doing an okay job. We've been doing an okay job for 3.5 years. Now we have to move it to like stellar job. Right? So,
We do. We need to get our game up a little
yeah,
bit.
we got to turn this thing up. We got to get to the next level.
Thank you, Rebecca, for joining us. You're very welcome. Thank you, Jeffrey, and thank you, Christopher, and who else? Lorna, and everybody else that joined us. Linda on the call today.
Definitely.
Narcissa, great to see you as well. God, a lot of comments, interaction. Kali, thanks for joining us. Yikes.
It was amazing. And by the way, I'll give one last plug for the Facebook group. If you're not already in the Facebook group and you want a copy of the lead copy decision tree, uh, come into the Facebook group and that's where you'll get it. That's my bribe for today's show.
Excellent.
There you
Oh
go.
my God. That's the bribe, and then you're going to put them into a deadline funnel, and you're going to no, just kidding. That doesn't
Ain't gonna happen.
happen. Ain't going to happen. Not. So thank
Thanks,
you
Lorna.
all for joining us tonight. Thanks, Lorna. Great show as always.
We will see you soon. Actually, no,
Soon.
next week. Next week is special. Next week, should we reveal that now or should we not?
No, don't
Okay.
reveal it. Let's leave an open loop.
Okay. Next week is going to be epic. We already know.
Yes.
This is the
We
only
already
one
know.
we've planned in advance, I think.
Yes.
Very cool.
Whatever that plan is, I don't know, but you'll share it with me at some point.
We'll see you next week on the 23rd.